Hi everyone, it's Claire back again, and today I'm going to have a look at my soft greys, and we're going to be doing some comparisons, but also if I find any that are just really similar and I don't know why I've got both of them, then I might be doing some destashing as well, but we'll see. And mainly it's just for the comparisons and to see if there's any overlap with the polishes, if that makes any sense. On my nails is Orly Snowcone, one coat mainly, but again I always do this, I don't wait for the base coat to dry, so I get a little bit of streakage, but that's just me, that's my fault. It is actually a true one coater. But yeah, that's Orly Snowcone. Let's get on with the swatches for the greys. So this might be a boring video for some people. There's not a great deal of colour obviously, but if you like neutrals like me and you want to have a look at some softer shade greys, then stick around. So we're going to go from lightest to darkest, and the lightest grey that I have is my Boyfriend Scales Walls. It's actually a white, but just with a hint of grey. When you've got this on your nails, it really just does look white. Great creamy formula, and I find this is fully opaque in two coats. I won't have a dupe for this, but yeah, I'll come back and do a second coat for that. It's just going to look white, but you can see the comparison down here. You can see that there is definitely some grey in there. Okay, so that's OPI, my Boyfriend Scales Wall. This is another very pale grey, and this is Eye Candy from Nailed London. Now I haven't swatched one of these for a while, but I can show you hopefully how great the formula is on these. So there we go. Still very pale, but slightly darker than my Boyfriend Scales Walls. So that's Eye Candy. And the third one is another pale grey. This is Earl Grey from Glitter Baby Nails, and this is slightly more of a, just a touch of a crelly. I wouldn't say it was, it is a cream, but it's just slightly shinier than a normal cream, which makes me want to say crelly. Yeah, and actually it is a little bit lighter than Eye Candy. But that's the three of them there, different enough I think to justify me having all three, but I don't know, we'll see with the second coat. And this one here is the beautiful holographic soft grey Paper Route, and I know I won't be destashing this one. It's holographic, but also it's the only soft grey holographic that I've got. And it is more of a scattered holographic than it is that oil slick linear, so it is really quite delicate. Beautiful. The next one is Frosted Cupcakes line from Barry M, and this one's called Earl Grey. This is a fairly recent pickup. I got this one and a blue one. So that's Earl Grey, and these three are all quite similar actually in shade. Obviously the effect is quite different, but this is Raindrops. I'll show you in a second. From Illamasqua. Nice creamy formula with that very delicate flaky silver to give that raindrop effect. So that's Illamasqua Raindrops. And continuing with a shimmery effect but slightly darker, this is one of my favourites. I know I've mentioned it lots. This is I Don't Give a Rotterdam. I do have darker greys, and Beck sent me the darker grey sister. I have a herring problem, but she is quite a bit darker than Rotterdam, so we're just looking at the softer greys today. And then this is another one of my favourite greys, beautifully opaque, and there's a slight touch of grey in this one. Not grey, of course it's grey, slight touch of green, which you should be able to see. So it doesn't look, you look at it and think it's not green, but it's the tiniest little bit of sage green, just a drop, and it kind of plays tricks with your eyes because you think, is it grey? Is there a bit of, there is definitely a bit of green in there, but it's different to other greys that I've got, if you can see them in comparison there. So that's that one. However, I think this does look quite similar. There's that little drop of green in there. It looks similar to Maximilian Strasser hair. We'll see. Maybe there is a little bit more green in the Smiths & Colt. They are quite similar. Very similar actually. Just a touch more of the green in Bitter Buddhist, which is the Smiths & Colt. They're all looking, you know, they're quite similar. And I've got, what, 13 soft greys, and it's like, do I really need all of them? Okay, we've got 4 slightly darker soft greys, but still falling into the lighter category, and this is Parker Perfect. And I would say this has got a tiny touch of blue in there, rather than the green that's in Maximilian or the Smiths & Colt. Great formula on this, and it does have a very subtle shimmer that you can see actually quite pronounced in the bottle, but it's very subtle on the nail, just a hint of it there. Okay, and the next one is Zoya Taupe. This is a satin matte. This, look at this, needs cleaning. What's the best way to do that? Just wipe the bottle tops with acetone, is that the best way? How do you clean this type of mess up? What's the best way? And finally, these two, they are, there's a slight taupe feel to both of them, but they are more grey than they are taupe. And I will give you an example. So that's a taupey colour, and you can see there it's there's more grey to these two. Yeah, there's definitely more of a grey tone, so although they're going to look completely taupe on the swatch wheel, same again with this, I'm going to see if they're similar to each other. So this one is, I believe it's Change Your Altitude by China Glaze. Yep, Change Your Altitude. And this one here is a as yet untried Hyde Park Place, and it's a nails ink that came in, I think, not the last Me box, but the one before. Oh, and actually this has got a really nice formula as well. But you can see they do look much more taupe than the other soft greys. But I'm going to do a second coat. I'll come back and we'll see if there's any more of a comparison, and if any of them need to be destashed. I've got a feeling no, but we'll see. Okay, so here's the second coat on everything, and I am struggling a little bit. It feels as though they're all different enough from each other to justify having all 13 of them. Plus, a lot have different finishes. So shimmer, holographic, flakies. Some of them have a little bit of green, some of them have a little bit of blue, some of them are a bit taupey. So I think, yeah, I mean, my boyfriend scales walls. It just kind of like the way I look at it is it's a white, it's an off-white, and it's a grey, so it fits into all three categories, and I haven't got anything quite like it. And I just absolutely love it. It's a great formula. So you have to ask yourself all of these questions before you think of destashing. I think if anything, no, I was going to say that this one may be similar to this, but it's darker. Yeah, so if I've forgotten any names, I'll put captions up as I'm going along editing. But I think I'll be keeping all of these soft greys for now anyway. And in fact, the other justification is a lot of them I've already used quite a bit of, so yeah, it would be difficult actually for me to, like this one's down to about here. Yeah, I'm just going to keep them. Okay, so the next one we'll be looking at soft taupes, and I've got creams and dusky pinks that we're going to look at, and this is where I've just got pockets of lots of similar colours across different brands, and I just want to make sure that none of them have skipped through the destash just because it's a preferred colour. Yeah, so I'm trying to be as thorough as I possibly can to get my collection down to a manageable amount for me that makes me happy. Okay, thanks very much for watching everyone. See you in the next one. Bye.